I was able to make $1,000 on just one trade, trading with the VWAP in the direction of overall trend, but most importantly, not talking myself out of the trade too early just because of impatience and fear of loss. So you can see a nice start to the week so far, making almost $1,400 yesterday. Made a video about that day as well, and $1,000 today. So this is my trade here. Again, it's going to be on ES. It is a mid-range trade with no breaks of the opening range yet. You can see the opening range was formed pretty bullish, more so than not. The end of it actually came down, but no breaks of the opening range yet. This is the first sign that buyers are stepping back in with the break back above New York VWAP. Clearly, there's some nice higher lows on the bottom. I'm liking longs on the day. We'll go over the 15-minute in just a second. So that's my first sign to long it. Now, there's no breaks of the opening range, like I said. I don't often love that. And being mid-range, kind of towards the top, I don't love that either because there's very poor risk-reward to the top of this opening range, which if you've seen any of these videos, the strategy I teach does not follow taking the first break of opening range high. Those often don't run. So ideally, the trade kind of should have looked like this. Let it break for the new high outside the open range high the first time. Notice how it doesn't run very far. Let it pull back, create more structure. You take the break of high day up to go get the second break outside of that range, right? So neither one was wrong, but you can notice I had to sit through a lot more drawdown because yes, it popped outside the open range high and right back inside, which isn't too surprising, which is often why I don't take this first trade. And I could have just been a little bit more patient to wait for this one to set up. But regardless, moving very slow, right? We're in it at 9:50. It doesn't really pop to 1R until 10:45, 10:50. Let's call it an even hour. That feels like an eternity when you're sitting in this trade. Now, it's more comfortable to sit in profit than it is in drawdown. So all this slowing over here, it's still moving higher. There's no sign of sellers. It's just not moving at the speed that I want. But the market doesn't care what I want. What is the information telling me? It's telling me that buyers are still chugging us higher with consistent higher lows. We're now outside of the range, still building those higher lows. Buyers are in. I just got to give them more time to finally go get those orders up above us at 6,030, which they eventually did. And again, I didn't get out at the very top here. I bailed a little bit early because my patience was wearing thin. I did not want to see this full back underneath for a donut. So rather than taking size off and moving stop loss to break even, I never would suggest that. I would just say, I'm full out. You know what? I made almost 1R. It's been an hour. I have a time stop. Let's just get out of this with the win and bag it on top of yesterday's trades, right? While we're on that note, let's go to yesterday's trade because, again, I made a video about it. But you go to the textbook long here, same way I just described. Not chasing this first breakout often doesn't run very far. Take this second break outside that same range, same price, just 10 minutes later after this pullback, and you catch the nice extended move, which is the same thing we got here today. So just follow the direction of trend. Let's go over the charts here real quick because you can see some pretty wild price action. It came down later on in the afternoon, early morning, and it did it again even later on. So let's go over some ideas real quick because there was a losing setup that fortunately I didn't take it because I was up on the day. I don't need to play around with the markets and give back gains. But let's anchor a high day view up to where we got out of the trade, right? This is the top of that market we just went over. It pulls back to opening range high in New York view up again. Buyers do maintain control. The next long opportunity would be a break of high day view up, stop loss below, not current structure here, giving it space below previous, a little bit back here in the middle of the range. And you can see that just no follow through. It looks like for a little bit, up until this point here, that buyers were going to try to hold us in, and maybe now we're going to finally go get that pop because clearly buyers have been in control today, so this is definitely a viable long. It just could not want to follow through because of this massive sell-off that double broke the initial balance, which probably shouldn't have happened. It cleared everything below every stop loss you could probably imagine. But what did it do? If you look at the 15-minute, I'll blow it up a little bit. Gnarly wick to the downside, just stopping everybody out here. But where did it actually close? Back above the daily view up, which is where I want my moves to happen from. And this is where we're longing it here at the open. Again, I should mention that's why I also like the longs mid-range here. Because you can see we're bouncing right off of that daily view up, which is the view up I want to be in and at around it because moves up and happen from there, right? So it makes a move up, pulls back to it. Where does the next move happen from? The same daily view up. Pulls back again later. Where does the move happen from? The daily view up. You guys get the gist. I made plenty of videos about it as well. Let's go back here to the 1 minute. So I think that's a viable win or a viable long, but it just loses because, dear Lord, what moved that market? Now after that, seeing that it held the daily view up, it could be tough to want to chase this price action because it's a pretty strong recovery bounce up, but a break back above New York, a break back above that high day view up. Stop loss at the bottom of the range now. You could want to go take a second swing at the longs, right? If this was your first long back here, You can get a little bit lower of a price. Seeing it hold that structure on the 15-minute, it held the daily view up. It's still building higher lows overall on the day, although this does look like a lower low from back here at the open. Still overall bullish on the 15 minutes, so still leaning long, especially since it recovered so quickly that sellers could not hold down there. That's definitely a viable long, or you let that thing go for a new high, do what it wants, pulls back like crazy again. So let's re-anchor a high day view up to there. Now notice buyers never took this one, right? So there should be no losses in and around here because it was never telling you to buy it because buyers never stepped in for full control with a break of it. So you let it pull back to the New York again. Sets a bottom, another higher low from back here. And again, finally gets back above high day view up, opening range high, New York view up, and another long signal with a stop loss at the bottom of that structure. And you go and ride that one up for another new high. Now again, we went over it earlier. That's the same retest off of here. It held the daily view up. So although this 1 minute, not going to deny it, is pretty wild. Had a slow chug up all morning for the longs, spikes everybody out, recovers it very quickly, sinks very quickly, but holds another higher low, and then makes another new high a day in the afternoon. So very, very impressive price action, which is why it's almost even more paramount, like we say. If you can make money in the morning, get off the desk. Don't give it back. Don't be trying to mess around with this type of volatility and unknown markets. Where if I could just capitalize on my winning trades, 1 to 2 trades in the early going of the New York session, see you later. I stacked together a few more days like we've had so far this week, even if tomorrow is a little bit smaller or whatnot. You could have a great week, a great month, a great quarter, great everything, right? That's how you get on the path to payouts, not by trying to predict what's going to happen all day today and try to capitalize on every move. It's fun to mark up. It's good to study, right? If you go to my report card here, you can see I have them all marked up because I want to see how could I have played today. We just went over all these markups that I just redrew for you guys. That I mark them up, I study them, I see how they were holding VWAPs, what you could have done, what you maybe shouldn't have done, and you live with it, you learn, you move on. But overall, I think the 15-minute was a nice key level, as it always is, but more importantly, just this first trade, right? It was moving very slowly. It took an hour, but the most important thing of, did we get new information that makes our trade look bad? Yes or no? We did not. I'm long here mid-range. I had to expect some sort of chop because often this first break doesn't run very far. So the fact that it didn't can't scare me out of my trade. Otherwise, I shouldn't be in the trade in the first place. It's just consistent higher lows. Ride the VWAP on the 1 minute, be on the right side of it on the 15-minute, and follow this structure. That's the best you could do. That's really all we can do, right? If this loses, I can sleep at night knowing I was following the trend, following my rules. And then if I take that consistently like we did the day prior, if I take it this day and it works, why shouldn't I take it the very next day? And if it doesn't work, it's a bad trade. No, of course, they're both good trades. One of them won, one of them lost. Today, thankfully, they both won. But you guys get the gist. You can't weigh your trades on the grading of it or whatever you want to say. Of, oh, it was a good trade because it won. Or today was a bad trade because it lost. No. If this one wins without me, you got to think about, if it wins without me, would I be pissed? If I saw this long opportunity just quickly shoot up for a new high a day, I'd say, yeah, why wasn't I long? That's a clean hold of New York. Structure is holding on the bottom. I'm long bias on the 15-minute because where we were coming in at to start the day, you can see we got back above the previous day's New York VWAP and the daily. I mean, oh my God, look at all these VWAPs. But even just look at the overnight price action. To start the day from Monday to Tuesday, up, down, slowly crawled up, and this is where we're starting the open. So very up and down pre-market, and it continued through the open as well. So definitely interesting there. But all these trades we took yesterday and today and every day, they're all taken live on stream here. You can go to the catalog. If you missed it and go see the recording of it, here's Austin's version of the long, same thing. So if you missed the streams, you can always check back on the replays, but also tune in if you can on the live stream, and you'll see us take these trades, why we're taking these trades, why we're not. And the strategy is all taught here in Futures 2.0. So you definitely just start a free trial. Honestly, you don't need to use my code to sign up for 50% off. Just start a free trial, tune into the next 3 days of streams, study the course, see what you like, what you don't like. If you want to stick around, beautiful. If not, that sucks, but it is what it is. But hopefully you guys found value in it. Hopefully you guys are keeping up on the markups and all these trades. They're making sense, and you guys are knowing the long-term plays of this, that if you just slowly stack these wins together, little base hits, not trying to catch all of every move or get the perfect exit, right? How could I have known this was going to be the last high we made for a while? You're not. Just make money, end the day green, survive, no big red days, and we'll all be in great shape. So let me know if you need me. Leave a like, drop a comment down below. But I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.